It's pretty funny, like, watching my teammates learn new items and, like, play different roles. Like, Soren trying out support mid. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? They don't even know, like, what the spells do.
Yeah. Well, it's the first day of Summer Split. I am here with Hauntzer. This coverage presented by OmniSlash to talk a little bit about the LCS. So, back in action again. Does it feel good?
Yeah, it feels great.
Go ahead.
We had, like, a long preseason, like, start. So to finally be able to play and, like, use all our practice feels good.
Yeah, what did you do? Because it was like 2 months, basically, right?
Oh, well, right after we lost, it was like, all right, guys, let's just take a break. Everyone did their own thing. And then 3.5 weeks before LCS started, we all came back, started playing solo queues, started scrimming. And so we've had, like, a long time of practice.
How do you feel? What is TSM in better form right now than they were in spring, do you think?
That's hard to tell. I feel like we've grown a lot over the last few weeks in terms of how we communicate in the game and what kind of responsibilities we have, and, like, having John Grignay coming in as well. So having, like, a sub jungler, it's a lot of things has changed, so it's hard to compare.
How does Grignay compare? I know you said it's hard to compare. How does Grignay compare with Mike Young, as you know, in your experiences with him?
I think he's very consistent, and he's one to play for the team, and he also has no problem voicing his opinion on what he thinks, like, best. Yeah, and then Mike's a very, like, carry-oriented jungler, so he likes to play carries and gets resources, and then follows up on the team's calls. Like, he's been trying to do, like, more macro stuff, but it's kind of, like, stressing him out. So he's gonna be playing on Academy, and then John's playing for LCS for now.
What are the conversations like behind the scenes around the meta stuff? Because some players really like it. I feel like Sven in particular has been very vocal online about his distaste for the current meta.
Yeah.
What's your experience like for all that?
Well, it's really crazy because, they're friends with, like, G2 back in Europe, and then we're like, they're telling us what they're playing, and we're telling them what we're playing, and it's like, today they pulled out Heimerdinger bot lane, blind pick, and then Jesper's like, ha, no way, like, never gonna play that shit. But they're willing to play that stuff, and I think it's just a difference of opinion and, like, what works in the current region. Like, no one's really tried that kind of stuff in NA, and he's, like, less inclined to try because he doesn't prefer those types of champions as well.
Yeah.
And they're like, very gimmicky, and Hjarnan, the guy who played Heimerdinger, is, like, a one-trick Heimer, I'm told. So it's, like, kind of normal for him to pull it out.
Do you think TSM is going to rely on more standard picks, or is there a world where you guys bust out some crazy stuff?
We're definitely not scared of busting out the crazy stuff. We just try to pick what's good. So usually the crazy stuff isn't the best. It's just, like, out there and, like, hard to deal with. But if you're against a good team, then you just want, like, the best picks possible, and that's kind of what we're going for.
What do you think that all this, like, crazy stuff, the unconventional picks will just sort of go away with time, that standard play will just sort of succeed, and maybe even Riot will, like, push it back in that direction?
No, I think based on how the game is right now and the upcoming few patches, it's going to stay like this, where certain teams just have, like, their little gimmick picks.
Yeah.
Like, like CLG is like a Brilliant Soul. They play it when it's on meta and it works out for them. But yeah, with how it's going right now, I feel like it's going to be very diverse, the meta.
Do you personally like the diversity in champions? Is it fun to play against unique stuff?
I mean, top lane's really fun for me right now. There's a lot of bruisers and a lot less tanks because the banner got nerfed.
Yeah.
So I'm having fun. My teammates are, like, trying to learn new champions, and it's kind of funny.
He said you're never going to play Heimer.
Yeah, you can't. It's pretty funny, like, watching my teammates learn new items and, like, play different roles. Like, Soren trying out support mid. It's like, what the fuck? They don't even know, like, what the spells do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy, but yeah.
All right, wrapping this up, we were talking a little bit before the interview about the NALCS Players Association. You didn't take a role on it, but we were talking before the CLG, TL, and TSM players all on it. Why didn't you try to go for one of those roles?
Feels like a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's actually not a lot of work, but I'd rather be like the person complaining, be like, I want this, and then they're the ones that have to deal with it because they're our representatives, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like, I want better desk at LCS. They have to like pitch it and like make sure it goes through and stuff like that. So just less work, more freedom.
Peter claimed that he nominated Vincent for treasurer, but we were talking before this. You said that's not true.
No, I did.
Okay. Why would he say that?
I don't know.
Okay. Why did you nominate Vincent as treasurer?
He's a very math guy,
Yeah.
and he studied finance in college before he went pro. So it's like something he's really into.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to be able to run the budgets correctly?
I hope so. It's just numbers, right?
Yeah. It's just numbers. Do you think, you used to play with Peter, do you think he's going to be a good vice president?
Yeah, I feel like Peter has a pretty good understanding of what the players want, and on certain issues he's very vocal, so that's good. And I think with like the rest of the other members combined, there won't be too much of a bias, and everything will be like evened out.
And finally, I'll just ask you about Soren.
Soren was voted for president, and he denied it because he doesn't like the work as well. It's respectable, and I think as vice president, he can just like take a step back, not have to be in charge, but like still be there, which I think is a good role for him.
Is there anything that you want to say to any of the TSM fans out there?
Look forward to us dominating the split.
By the way, are you able to use the Fortnite players' free Chipotle cards?
Negative. That is a Fortnite only sponsor.
Well, they won't share the card with you. You can't ask Myth to go pick up some burritables for you.
I mean, I probably can, but I won't.
You should. All right. Anyway, thank you so much, Hauntzer, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Guess what, guys? Summer Split is back, and I'm partnered up once again with Omni/. Thanks so much for their support of this YouTube channel. But you watching this right now, look, there's so many League of Legends interviews that are going to hit this month, next month, the month after that, the month after. The point is, you should just subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it's like the simplest thing in the world. You just literally, you can do it right now. You just click or tap or whatever you need to do to sub. Just sub. It helps me out a ton. Super appreciated. We'll have more interviews coming up in just a bit. So thanks so much.